So this looks really good.
Yeah, you can see these blue squares. That's actually the position of the camera. And as I was saying, you do 3 levels of photography. So that's all the positions that I took. And
How many images did you take?
I think this one is 90 photographs. So this is just a little bit of too much. But the more the better, as I said.
So why did you develop this? Why were you so interested in the photogrammetry?
It's in terms of the speed and accuracy of what we can record as archaeologists. I mean, in the field, it's so useful in terms of the amount of time we take to draw. We still need to draw, but this kind of information can make the information accessible.
I see. So when you work in Peru, you're pulling out objects in the field, and you don't get to take them back and
No.
study them back in Toronto. So while you're there, you're trying to capture as much as you can.
Absolutely. So if I can take home a digital version, I can continue the research beyond the field.
That's great. So when you're taking the 3D models of, what is it you're looking at there when you're the architectural?
I'm comparing architecture in its real form, as we excavate it, to versions of the architecture in miniature.
Wow.
And those are very, very fragile models. So if using this technique, I can develop a system to compare it to.
And by taking those images, you may actually have a more complete rendering of that object at a certain point in time that is more sustainable than the object itself.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So just like the Parthenon frieze, for example, the plasters of the frieze itself are more valuable than the actual because the actual was destroyed.
Absolutely. I mean, it's digital preservation in real life.
Yeah, that's great. And you're getting it as it comes out of the ground.
As it comes out of the ground or having been excavated years prior and are already in museum collections after conservation.
I see. That's great.
So in exactly this kind of situation, we have this vessel here, and you can see the quality of the iconography, how detailed it is. But I'm able to turn it around. I'd be able to send this to you by email, and I could say, can you see on the back, you actually have a second figure, which you'd be able to see in a different photograph.
Oh yeah, I see him right there.
But it'd be difficult to describe him. But you'd be able to turn it around and actually see exactly what I'm talking about.
And we can even look at details like the connection of the spout to the vessel body right there. And even look at the wear along the mouthpiece itself, what I call the mouthpiece right here, this. Yeah, that's amazing. Look at the texture. Excellent.
And you can even see where it's been conserved in the past.
Yes. Excellent. And how large is this file once you've finished?
It could be sent in a normal email.
So smaller than 10 megs?
Absolutely, yeah. It's really, really quite something.
Wow, that's great. How many of these will you collect when you go in the field this summer?
As many as I can, but I'll take the photographs and I'll do the processing when I return to Toronto. So that's the beauty of it. I can actually maybe do 15 or 20 vessels in a day.
And tell me about how did this come about, this whole system that you have here. Under the artifact right now you have the turntable. How did you sort out how to make that turntable?
Well, I mean, it's just, I thought I need a lazy Susan, just something to turn it so it's very, very gentle. I mean, I could have reached in and turned it, but obviously you don't want to touch the vessel any more than you can. It needs to be solid and stable so it doesn't tip over. And also, you need to be able to have attachment points. So if something is unstable, you can pinch it essentially so it won't fall over. Especially if you're dealing with small things like individual shirts, which would be very difficult to photograph in this way without being suspended in space.
Great. And what do you call this again?
This is photogrammetry, is the process.
Will you use the photogrammetry in the field for anything else? Will you use it in the pit? Will you use it to take renderings of the actual architecture?
Absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about it. You can use it inward looking on an object, or you can take photographs of an excavation. And I've been doing some experiments using that every single day and showing the change over time.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's great.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to change the face of archaeology in a real way.
Wow. Great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.